Hello, everyone. You are watching the Wise Coffee Chat Show. I am your host, Jennifer Sanchez. Who am I? I am the founder of the Wise Alliance Network. I also put on events for women, coaching programs, retreats, networking events, co-ed networking events, boot camps for entrepreneurs. And then, of course, I'm a real estate investor. So if anyone's looking to sell their property, reach out to me. I could buy cash, 30 days or less. And then, of course, I'm a mom of 3 beautiful girls. So that is who I am. I will pass it over to my co-host.
Hello, everybody. Who am I? Sebastian Gomez with Keller Williams and ERT Commercial Real Estate. I am a practicing commercial real estate broker. So I work with everything from landlords to businesses looking to get into space. Specialize in just about a couple things, retail and office space, but I also do warehouse and a couple other of the other industries and niches. And I'm also a networking host as well. So if you guys are interested in networking out in the western suburbs, definitely reach out.
Yep. And then we'll pass it over to our guest. Let her introduce herself today.
Okay. So I'm Jackie Jablonski. I am a business owner, own roofing by Hernandez. Been doing that for 20 years. I'm an investor, so I have my own property management company. I also do the networking space as well. So
Yeah.
Southwest Housing Providers Group has been around for 3 years now. And then I also do a lot of educational aspects with landlords, my landlording 101 bootcamp class. So I do a lot of that as well, and constantly a speaker, mover, changer.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, mom of 2 as well
Mom,
too.
wife.
So yes, a lot. So have many boots that I wear. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for having me today. I
No,
appreciate
thank-
both of you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And if anyone's watching, if you see any issues, please let me know, whether it's the audio or the visual, so that I can make sure I correct it. So I'm trying to watch all of this. But what I love about, I just realized all 3 of us have networking communities.
Yeah.
Like we're big networkers.
Yes.
So it's kind of exciting to have a show with people that like to talk. So I don't,
You should have heard us a little while ago when we were having the
Right,
technical issues.
I know. So we had a bunch of stuff going on today, but we're here now. So let's go into, of course, before we start learning more about Jackie, let's go into coffee time, because we actually do have different coffees today.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
And I'm excited to share share the coffee that we're drinking. So go for it, Sebas. What are you drinking?
All right. So in my nice black thermos here, I have black coffee, Cafe Bustelo.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to give you a lot of energy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bustelo.
I grew up drinking coffee. I drank coffee at like 3 years old with my
Oh.
grandma. She always had pan dulce, and we would eat.
That's the
We
Mexican
would
side.
eat,
Yeah.
drink coffee and eat the pan. Yeah.
Yo también. With my
Yeah.
nana,
So-
we'll have my fun cafe
Yeah.
too.
And it doesn't affect me as much as it does people. Yeah.
I wonder if coffee gave us the ADHD. No, I'm
Oh.
I'm just as a kid.
I had a
right?
lot of energy and sometimes too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my grandma and my nana would give me the coffee too little, just
Yeah.
you dip it in but with canela,
Mhm.
Yep,
So
yep.
yeah.
Well, I used to eat it with, drink it with animal crackers in Mexico.
Oh,
That was the
yeah.
way,
Yeah.
like you
Oh,
put it
yeah.
in the. That's how
I
I
did that
remember
too.
I'm
it.
getting hungry now.
Yeah, right. I know, me too. So what are you drinking?
So I have an iced espresso, oat milk espresso. So brown sugar, oat milk. I do dairy free. So but I it's like my go-to. I don't know. I
This
just
is the
love it.
go-to?
Yeah.
And it's cold.
Yes.
That's one thing I caught. I was like, it's cold outside, and she got cold
We live and
coffee.
breathe
It will be
Chicagoland area.
freezing, and I will be there with my guantes like
Okay.
shivering, but I still want my iced coffee. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do. I like
Yeah.
iced coffee. It's like when I have hot coffee, I'll have to heat it up 5 times before I drink it. It's so bad. It's so
Oh,
bad.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's
Oh,
because I
you,
talk.
You let it sit.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I let
yeah,
it sit and I'm talking and I'm
Mhm.
distracted. So I think iced coffee is just was meant for me.
It's just
It's okay if it's cold.
Yeah.
You know, I like
accepted it.
it.
You
Yeah,
accepted
I
it.
accept it. I accept you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the first thing I caught when your employee came in and she brought the coffee. It was like I was like, why is it cold? Like in my head, I was like, isn't it cold outside? But that's part. That's why I
Yeah.
like to ask what people drink because it just shows a little bit about your personality, right? So me, I am actually doing. I was like, oh, Starbucks. Okay, finally, like I don't have to say black coffee because the last couple shows I did black coffee because I do like black coffee, but I do like a little flavor in my coffee. So sugar-free vanilla latte is what I'm drinking. Very
Okay.
sugar-free-ish today. So that's what I'm drinking. But that's it. So let's go. And then if anyone's watching, whether you're watching now or the replay, feel free to share what is it that you're drinking. So we definitely want to know what are you drinking what right now while you're watching the show.
Any suggestions? I can try something new.
You want to try something new?
Yeah. I've been stuck on this for a while. So
How long have you been drinking this drink?
since it came out, like 6 months ago.
6 months ago?
Yeah, and I'm just like, and I've gotten to the point where like I have the coffee postelo for iced coffee. I make my own version now. I'm so bad. And,
Your own version of the Starbucks
Yeah,
drink.
yeah. I try to redo it,
I
and
don't
it's
think it's
I
bad.
I've been
Not
tr-
bad.
I even went online and bought the pump, the sugar free brown
Oh,
sugar,
that-
everything.
Wow.
And I got the little mixture and the
Dedicated.
shaker. People think I'm drinking cocktails here, and it's like, no, it's my coffee.
She's drinking at 9 in the morning. People think
Yeah.
you're
They're
drinking
like, they're
alcohol.
looking at me because I have like the shaker, like for cocktails. But it's the only, if I try to do the little like spin thing, whatever you call it, to
The little
mixture,
blender. The little,
yeah,
yeah.
it just doesn't come out the same. So when I do it, and
have
I
to shake.
it's
Yes.
just shake it, a little bit, shake it out of my system.
Okay, now this is early in the morning, but so no, that's great. And I'm gonna side note now that I'm thinking about it, it's like there's nothing wrong with drinking alcohol in the morning. If you do it.
Yeah, nothing
I'm
wrong,
just
guys.
saying.
Nothing wrong.
Just saying. I
Wait,
wanted to
let me
put it
just
out
tell you,
there.
when you're
Unless it's
drinking,
too much.
when you're going on like the like the wilderness, the because I've gone to Wisconsin and stuff like that, the iced coffee is a little bit more sneaky because you can say Kahlua and it just tastes a little a little spice in your life. You're on vacation. I think with the hot coffee, you're like, ugh, it's a little like, ugh. But when you're doing the iced coffee and you add that little Kahlua or Irish cream, I'm calm. Like, go ahead, jump around.
It's like it's like an espresso it's like the espresso martini.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if I said on the last show. Did I say it on the last show? With one of the episodes, I was at a restaurant and the guy snuck tequila in my coffee, and I was like, "Oh, is that what we're drinking this morning?"
You're
I
like,
was
whoa, despierta America.
Yeah, Despierta America, for real, right? That's good. That's good. So, okay. And I'm just curious. What part? I know you're half Mexican, right?
Yeah.
What part is your Mexican side?
My mom and my family, well, we're from Monterrey. So yeah.
Monterrey,
Yeah,
okay.
my husband's from Michoacan.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I know I have a Polish last name, but that's like that and being like complected, that's about it because I don't
She
remember
said
too
it
much.
like this.
Yeah, but realistically, like Latina, true and true. A lot of people don't know that about me though, too. Like, and I speak it, write it, read it, everything.
Yeah. When I first met
Polish?
you,
No,
Oh, Spanish.
Spanish.
Oh, okay,
Spanish.
okay.
I,
It's like,
you know
dang.
what? Speaking of Polish, though, was really weird. I don't know why, but I do this all the time because I did speak it when I was little.
Yeah.
Mama strange a little bit more with my dad's side. I don't know why, but my son and my daughter will be like, "Mom, why are we on the Polish station in the car?" And I'll be driving, and I'm like, and I'm just like,
Jamming out.
and I
yeah.
jamming out, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I don't know why I have it. It's like my subconscious goes there, but I don't.
Yeah.
I understand it a little bit, but not very
Mhm.
much. But it's all the time. I always.
I
It's
only
weird.
know Małami Poposki. That's that.
You speak
right?
Polish?
That's it. That's
Yeah.
all I know.
Yeah.
Because I used to work in Humboldt Park, so there's a lot of Polish lifeguards I used to work with. So I pierogies and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Love
My dad was a
pierogies.
lifeguard.
Oh yeah, where? Oh man,
Harrison Park.
I know a lot of the lifeguards at Harrison Park.
Yeah, Harrison Park. We grew up.
What year? What year?
A long time ago.
A
Like
long time.
1985 to
Oh.
like 1995.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's probably like an OG,
Yeah.
and he left. I'm assuming he left the park
Yeah.
district with another.
Yeah, yeah. He was in the army. Actually, that's his flag up there. So he passed away a couple years ago. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, but he was a lifeguard. I learned how to swim. My love for swimming was over there at
Really?
Harrison Highland Park. I grew up in Pilsen.
You grew up in Pilsen. You grew up in the
Yes.
hood.
Yeah.
She grew up in the hood before it became
What it is today.
now.
Yeah,
Like it's
no,
super
it's
nice
total.
and chic and like
No, it was not like that back in the day.
no, I
No.
remember like I was worried about going into Pilsen sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
oh
it
man.
was
Even
really-
as a kid, like you knew like this is a different zone. You
Yeah,
know?
you're like, oh, hide.
I used to go to the kermes right there on 18th Street. You know how they always had the kermes at the church on the
Yeah.
corner on Ashland and 18th. What
Yeah.
church is that again?
I
St.
can't.
Pius.
St. Pius. Yeah.
St. Pius. So they always had a, you know what a kermes is? So it's like a festival, like
Yeah.
right, like a carnival festival. They have bands.
Well, the
and
Fiesta del
food.
Sol is over there.
Oh yes. So like
You know the Fiesta del Sol.
Yeah.
Everybody should know that.
but they were it was small. It was just behind the church, the kermes,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't like the whole block, right? But I remember going there like every summer as a kid, you know, and it's like
I was always over there
you
yeah.
oh yeah, I was like
all
yeah,
the
this
time. We
it's like,
probably bumped into
we
each other.
probably we probably
bumped
did
into
because
each
we're
other.
around the same age, so
Yeah.
probably yeah. I just remember like I have a funny story. I remember there was a little like dwarf man, and he was hitting on me, and I was like 12.
I know. I was like,
Is there what's the correct way?
you shocked me with that one.
I shocked you with that one.
Like,
Okay.
what dwarf man? What
No,
is
but
that?
how would you call? You know, they're right.
Well, yeah.
Anyways,
Small
Yeah.
little
get it,
people,
little
Little
guy.
people,
Yeah,
little person.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it was a
He was an
legit
adult
little
though,
person.
but he was a legit little person.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
he was a legit little person hitting on me, and I was like 12 in
Yeah,
Pilsen, and I was like, "Is this like the neighborhood guy? Do people know this guy? Like, you know, like is he like one eye lefty? Like, what's his nickname? Like, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
think
yeah,
of.
yeah.
That's why I'm curious if you remember. I'm still traumatized by
You remember
this.
No, I don't
No.
remember. And I went to St. Pius
He
a
was
lot.
at the kermes too,
Yeah.
and I just remember like you know like no, I'm not going into that story, but
And like a
anyway,
mythical
that's-
creature, like imaginary friend that you had in your mind or
no,
something.
he was there, and his
It's like one of the
sister-
people from
his-
Willy Wonka, like, come
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
me and you'll see.
no, his sister. No, his sister was like, "Hey, my brother wants to talk to you," and I was like, "Who's your brother?" And then
Yeah.
it was like, "No, look like a grown ass man. He must have been like 17 or 18
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that." But still, anyways, fun, interest. I don't know why I shared that.
That was hilarious.
I appreciate you sharing that
Yeah,
story.
I just was hoping. I was wondering, like, is that man still alive? I was just
Yeah, yeah.
curious.
Yeah,
That's
you're right. It's just
why.
something that implanted in you. You're just
Yeah.
like, wow, that
Traumatized over the
traumatized
years.
crap out of you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's go into your story though, because I know people are watching. So, there's a lot. You do a lot. Where should we start? What
don't
is it?
know.
How did it all start?
Oh, girl, that's a long. That's are we? Do we have that much time?
We have
Right.
we have time.
Well, realistically, hustler for life. Like, just I think growing up in 18,
Oh, yeah.
coming from a
Mhm.
Hispanic family, you saw like my whole family, just everybody in the neighborhood always like hustling and having side
for
hustles,
sure.
right? That's a common thing. So me and my husband, we met. We were dating. We actually started selling at the flea market. We had a
Oh,
food
nice.
truck. We had a food spot. We used to sell CDs, Italian ice,
Oh, man.
toys. We sold homies. Do you remember homies?
Oh
Back in the day,
yeah.
Man.
we were
Yeah.
I was the homie lady.
Wait, the homies like the toys?
The
or
toys, the little
Oh, my
homies.
Yeah,
I had a
gosh.
box like this, no lie, like this, and I had a cardboard cutout, and it said 50 cents, and kids would
Right.
come, run up, because they didn't have to waste their money to go and find their
Right.
homie. They could go and look in the bucket
to get the
to
exact
get the
they
one that
want.
they
Yeah, yeah,
wanted,
yeah.
and then we had the exclusives that were really
Oh,
hard
man.
to find, and they would, we would sell those for a little extra.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
used to
yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
The little rare one.
But
rare
we were
ones.
doing roofing on the side.
Wait, do you still have homies?
Yes,
I'm just
I
curious.
do.
Like,
I have the.
I'm just
We made
curious.
a display case. We made a custom display case. We did a polyglass on it. We had like a spray paint in the back, little levels, and we did all of the little homies. And I still have that to
That's
this day.
That's cool.
classic. I gotta take a
That's so-
picture
yeah,
of that.
And then we had these ones that were like a little bit more modern looking. They're called Lokesters.
Hoaxsters.
Yeah, so we got this all from California.
Yeah.
So we would get this shipped to us, and we sold those. We sold spinners and lowrider cars and all different
That's
types
really
of things.
cool.
Man, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do people know this about you?
Not many
No.
people know this. Yeah.
Oh my
So I used to be
God.
the homie lady. They used to like run and find me. And I had like a little area back in the day in Maxwell Street Flea Market with my husband.
Wow.
We had our toys, and then we would have our food, stuff as well. We had our food truck and food stuff. So I was kind of doing both, kind of
Yeah.
moving back and forth. We had
Yeah.
employees, and what we'd started doing was my husband's family does roofing. So we started doing roofing kind of like on the side,
Okay.
as like a side hustle.
Mhm.
And then I started doing Verizon. I sold Verizon. The side hustle was always there roofing.
Right.
And the side hustle became the main hustle because
Wow.
I had kids. It was getting harder to kind of like, manage everything. And then with that, with when I started expecting, we got the first property, then the second, then the third. And it just started becoming where it's like, you know what? I don't have that flexibility because what I was doing was I was going on lunch and I was like paying a water bill or talking to a client or
Yeah.
checking my email, or if it was slow, I was like, oh, let me go over here, let me go behind the sales wall to make a phone call because nobody was in there.
Yeah.
So it was forcing me to like move at a different pace, and it just wasn't possible to do it. Like
Yeah.
work at a job, do the flea markets on the weekends, doing the second hustle. The second hustle became the main hustle,
Mhm.
and I left it,
Yeah.
and I worked from home, and I had the rentals, and we just kept growing and growing, and the roofing business grew immediately. The minute I left my job, I grew the business
Wow.
really fast because
Oh
I had that
wow.
availability.
Now
You
you
put
had
the
more
focus
free
into it.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it was like we were doing claims, we were doing insurance, we were doing flat roofs, everything. Started advertising. Back then, we didn't have what we have today. We did the yellow book.
Oh, the yellow
So
book.
we had to design all of our own ads.
Wow, the yellow book.
Yeah.
That brings. Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
still have, I think, a
You
couple
still
of
have a
here.
yellow
Yeah,
book here?
yeah,
You
yeah,
do have
I
a yellow
know.
book.
Yeah, it's over there. Yeah, kind of have them for memories.
AT&T.
Yep. And
Yep.
I have quite a few of them at home too, like in a memory box. Yeah,
Yeah, oh
because
my
it's just like you
gosh.
can't forget where you come from, right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I can't forget where you come from. I remember you used to prank call people off the yellow book.
Yeah, I did a lot of prank calls.
That
Actually, I was
just like,
pretty
let's-
devious.
Let's go.
Star
You know,
67.
yeah. Just like, let's see who we can find. You know?
I prank called my grandma for years, and I would pretend to be a Chinese delivery guy. And my grandpa had high cholesterol, so she wasn't
Oh.
supposed to be
Right,
eating
right.
out. And she didn't know about this. It was kind of like that Scott Disick thing. And I would always say like your orders there, and
Mhm.
she would get like you would hear her in the background, and I would be like laughing, and she'd be like, "Gordo, que te dije? Like stop ordering." And then one day I just showed up and I pretended to be the delivery
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
again because they legit ordered from this place.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was causing a lot of conflict.
Oh my god.
And I said, I was there. She came down the stairs and she's like looking for the delivery
Yeah,
guy. And I was
yeah.
like, it's me. I had to tell her. And she's like,
Yeah.
"What, hitting me?" She was laughing, but she was so mad
Yeah,
at me
yeah.
that I did that for years.
Wow, for years.
Years. That's
For years.
crazy.
Just spontaneous. I'm like, oh, it's raining. Let me call grandma.
Let me call grandma. Tell her order has arrived.
Let me just mess with her.
Let me just
Oh.
mess with grandma. I'm thinking about her today. I think I should do this.
Aw, That's nice. Those are fun memories, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would call her like the next day just to see how she was doing, or sometimes a couple hours later, and
Yeah.
she would always tell me about it. And I would be like silently laughing. And I was like, man, why do I do this? Why am I so devious?
It was,
I had to stop.
It was fun. Yeah, there must
Yeah.
have been fun times.
Yeah.
I do have Ernie here. I want to make sure I shout out to him. Good afternoon, gente con todo. He's actually a mobile bartender.
Oh,
Bar con
nice.
todo.
Good
So,
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
yeah. Okay. Awesome. So going back to your story, so besides the deviousness things that we used to do,
Yeah.
the yellow book, right? Don't ever. You said, don't ever forget where you come from. I
Yeah.
like that, right?
you.
Because
Right.
people do forget where they come from.
Yeah.
And you are from the city. You're a city girl. You grew born and raised in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So tell us how that has fit into what you do now.
I think for me, like it's about me with the networking group, the roofing, the property management. It's about giving back. Everything I do, I'm helping people.
Yeah.
So I think like I look at it as I wish I had somebody like me growing up, because I went through so many trials and tribulations with owning a business, with owning rentals, being a mom. I didn't really have anybody influential in my life,
Oh wow.
like
That's so
personally,
true.
that I can say that, oh, I look up to this person. It was always other people that like I would see from afar. So with the roofing, if you think about it, I'm fixing your roof, so I'm helping you. And in the
Yeah.
rentals, I'm providing you a home, I'm helping you, I'm providing
Yeah.
you a place to stay. The networking, I'm helping you align yourself with other people in the community. I didn't
Yeah.
have that. Networking wasn't something that I started off in the business. It's something that's just continuously grew.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be something where I thought about it, you know, especially in our Latina cultures that we give so much to our family and we're always putting them first. And I love my children. I always want to put them first too, but I also want to put me first. And I want to make sure that I have something that I can, once they're old enough, I have something to do and I have something to look forward to. You know, I don't want to lose myself. You know, I want to be still an individual. So that's where the networking group came. And that's where also the landlording came too, the landlording classes that I do, because I realized so many people were making so many mistakes. And I did too. But I felt that like a lot of people are beat themselves up about it, where that's part of your growth. You can't skip those phases. You can't
Yeah.
skip those hard parts and those difficult things that you go through. I think a lot of people look at it as like they're shamed, right? And I
Mhm.
didn't want people to feel shamed. I wanted to line you up with the right people. If you came new to the group, I wanted to introduce myself, meet you, you know, introduce you to other people. I went to networking groups and they weren't really friendly. They
Mm.
were very size you up and down. What do you have? What do you own? What do you do? Like, what can I get from you? Whereas, like, sometimes you can't get something from somebody day one. It's weeks later, months
Right.
later.
Relationship building.
Yeah,
Years later, sometimes.
sometimes,
yeah.
yeah. But you
absolutely.
have to be nice. And I was going to a lot of events and I wasn't seeing that they were just as nice. And they weren't very inspirational sometimes, or it was more like, do this, do that. But you're like, how? Thank you, but how? I'm lost.
How?
Like, como? You
Mhm.
know, so I wanted to be where I like literally told people in depth, like, this is how, like, we had a speaker, a loan officer, this is how you do this and this is insurance. You shouldn't be doing this, and this are things you should look forward to. Because I was going to events and they weren't being very thorough. They were very, you know, passive and just very little bit informative. You still sat there with a lot of questions as to what do
Yeah.
I do?
Right.
How do I do this?
Yeah.
So I didn't want that for my community.
Yeah. I like that. And I like the fact that you identified a need and you filled the need. You're like, okay, clearly they're not really supportive and you're doing it because you're trying to help people. And
Yeah.
that to me, like, I think that's when it's a powerful networking community or with anything that you're doing in business, right? When you're intentionally trying to help and trying to serve, that's when people want to take advantage of that. Like down the road, like you said,
Yeah.
you might not get the business right away,
But
but
later.
later, or they might be a good referral partner,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So I love that you said that.
Well, I went to like this networking group in Indiana and they had this competition, right? And I have to tell you about this because this is like really impactful for me. And this was like about 2, 3 years ago, right
Mhm.
after COVID, or probably a little bit more. And they did this thing where, like, hey, we're going to break the ice. Me and you are going to like switch positions in the room, right? So if you're here, the girl I had, she was a loan officer. And obviously I said, what is your need? You said, I need more clients. And I said,
Mhm.
I need people in HR. I have a hard time. That's what my need was at the time. I need to find somebody to help me to hire somebody, like employees.
Mm.
That's one of the things I feel like is the worst part of being a business owner, by the way.
Right.
We'll get in touch on that. But I had to switch places. So you had to go around the room and find contacts for me. And I did too.
Interesting.
Well, that's
So
cool.
it was kind of
That's
cool,
actually
right? So
cool.
we pretended to be one another. So
Okay.
when I walked around the room, it was like, we have 10 minutes, right?
Okay.
And it was like, whoever gets the most is going to get this gift card and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, bet I got this. So I went around the room and I said, you know, whatever her name was, I can't remember at this point in time. And I had 16 contacts. Everybody else had the one after me was like 8 or 10.
Wow.
And they're like, nah, people in the room were like, no way. And I had a couple business, this is stuff that I wrote down. I had a couple business cards. So total I had about 20.
Right.
So people were like, no way, that's not how you did it. And I said, you know what? I'll tell you how I did it. Because they're like, no way that you formed that many connections. That's why I said when we were like kind of like hooking up everything.
Mhm.
I'm a quick networker too, and I want to connect. But the problem that people are missing is, hey, I only need this today, right? Like, you only need loans. So if I meet you and you're a hairdresser, I'm like, oh no, you don't need a loan, bye. You know,
Right.
that's what happens.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, oh, you're a hairdresser? Oh, nice. Well, maybe let's connect. Let me get your information. Let me see what kind of service. You know, I kind of need a haircut soon.
Right.
You know, also, if you know anybody that needs anything, here's my information. That's how I was doing it.
Mhm.
So that's how I was doing it. The other guy was like, oh, I do construction. Oh, you do construction? Well, I might have somebody that in the lending side that may need construction. let's pass each other's contact.
Right.
When you're
right.
only going in there into the service of only what you need and you're being selfish, you're not looking at the potential of what you can find in the room, right?
Mm.
So the lady who's selling creams or cremas, she still has people that are going to want to buy a house
Mhm.
and they're going
Yeah,
to need a
Right.
loan.
Right.
So
absolutely.
go try her creams and go network. And you might find something that's going to fix that skin,
Go try the creams.
you know?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But you might meet somebody along the way that is going to fit your need. Not
Yeah.
right there, but if you're so selfish and self-centered
Ooh,
and you're like, I only need this, buy, go.
Right.
That's what I've
yeah.
seen people do. And instead it's like, oh, well, do you have this? Okay, well, you don't know how that person gets impacted by that conversation, how they refer you to somebody else and they refer you to somebody else. And then that it starts this whole
Right.
trickle.
Yeah.
I feel people are removed from that. So because I own a business and I see how that works and
Yeah.
I've learned all that stuff with time, that's how I try to do it
Yeah.
because that's how you should.
Yeah.
People don't buy into you right away.
Yeah. I like that. And I like, and I don't know what Sebas has to say, but Melly said, so true. People aren't all nice. I just wanted to share her comment.
They're not.
They're not. But I think what I like is that you want to support someone else first and buy from them first, right?
Mhm.
Like that. I don't. People don't do that. Like, okay, maybe you are the Mary Kay lady. Let me buy a lipstick from you,
Right. Right.
right? And
Yeah, you never know what she has that you may like.
yeah, and then down the road.
By the way, I use their makeup remover. It's really good.
Yeah. They have some good stuff. So then, like, right, you buy, even if you feel like that maybe they can't give me anything right now. You never know what that little gesture or support or showing up
Mhm.
for them will do down the road for
Even
somebody.
if you don't go and buy and they have a demonstration, but you're there to show support, you're there just to try the products, just to be out in that aspect.
Mhm.
You're giving them that like apoyo, like I don't know how you say it in English.
Support?
Support. There you go.
Yeah.
You're giving them that support where they're like, okay, she supports me, she gives me that. And maybe you can't do it all the time. You can't go
Right.
to every demonstration, but
Yeah.
once in a blue moon, you may really connect with that person. You know, I feel I watched her name is Vivian Wu. It's My Rich BFF. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
No.
You gotta watch her.
Okay.
She says yes. She says, I'm your rich BFF. She says,
I'm your rich
yeah, I
BFF.
love it.
Okay, now.
She says that all her friends serve a purpose. They provide her something. And when you first hear that, you're like, damn, like, what do you mean by that? But she doesn't always mean money. She means like this person provides me joy. This person
Right.
provides me support. This person gives me peace of mind. This
Mhm.
person
Mm.
like centers me. She says this is what her friendships bring her. Sometimes we're just so narrow minded that we don't realize, yeah, this person may not be aligned 100% on my goals or they don't do the same thing that I do, but that's what makes the conversation sometimes engaging.
That's
Be-
true.
right? Because they also challenge you in a way or they make you think. Sometimes I meet people and I'm like, oh, they just told me something. Oh, let me write that down. Now I got to add that to my class.
Mhm.
Or let
Yeah.
me write that down. That's a really good thing that I should try to do, or a good recipe or something, right? Like you got to look at it like that. When we're so close minded, we're just like, no, everybody has to stay in the same lane. Everybody got to do the same thing as I do. That kind of gets boring.
That gets so
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah. So having that challenge where you look at people and you're like, okay, I want to connect with you and I want to see what you do. And you get different perspectives, different businesses, different ideas, concepts. You may pick up a nugget here and there. And that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't see it that way.
They don't. I don't. What do you think?
Well, I like the whole idea and how I built my network was through investing time and networking deep, investing time and networking deep instead of wide, because the deep connections you make with
Yeah.
people, it helps them connect with you and they revolve around you. So every time when I started networking, I didn't. Of course, I wanted to like get business and whatnot.
Yeah.
But my intention was to connect and meet people and build relationships because I knew one day later down the line, maybe I might get something from them.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, maybe maybe they'll help me out with something.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll send me a referral, maybe whatever. But that wasn't the main goal. The main goal was to just build that relationship. So
Yeah. Yeah. Like even like now we know that you used to be the homie lady, right?
Yes.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
but like even creating that to me, no, meeting someone and discovering that's creating deep connection, right? That's like, oh my God, like there's something so cool about her. I want to learn more about her. I want to ask more
Yeah.
questions, right? And that to me is like, that's creating the relationship. It's not just, it's outside of business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people go to networking events and they're like, oh, they just want to know what you do for business, why you do it. They don't want to know anything about your personal life.
Right.
No.
They
Right.
don't want to know what do you like, what do you dislike, what kind of coffee do you drink, right?
No,
Like
they
little
don't
things,
even ask that question.
you
No.
know, little little details like that. But that's how you can relate and resonate and, you know, just make those relationships count. Let me share these comments. I have Angel say, Angel, my girl, Angel, the Paz de Amor, right? Paz de Amor. Hello, I'm a little late, but I'm excited to hear what's happening. Um, and she wrote, I've always been about demonstrations, but mostly because I love gatherings while supporting other women. Agree. That's awesome. And then we have Melly. People don't buy into your right away. So true. So this is good. I wasn't sure where this conversation was gonna go, but
Yeah.
this is where the conversation is going, right?
No. I think it's important for you to build a connection with people because for me, think about it. I don't know if you guys think about this, but who do you like if you're purchasing, let's just say a real estate or you're working with somebody, who are you most likely to refer somebody to? Somebody that what? You like
Yeah,
and
I
that you
trust.
connect and you trust.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that, right? So if I don't like you and I don't trust you and you don't talk to me and you're all about just gimme, 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 why do
Yeah.
I should I give it to you?
Yeah.
Right? I want to make sure that you're informative, that you're speaking the truth, that you're looking out for my people because that's going to, I look bad. So if you're a representation of who you hang with, they always say that, right? Like
Right.
it's the whole birds of a feather flock together.
Flock
Back in the
together,
day,
yep.
they used to say that.
Yep.
So I need to make sure that the birds that I flock with, they're gonna be
They gotta
together.
take care
They're
of my
gonna, they got it
people.
together,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So if not, then that's gonna fall apart.
Agree. I don't like making referrals and then I find out down the road like that person didn't show up or answer
It
Mhm.
or
makes me look bad.
and I'm like, bro, like, you know, like then I have to have this side conversation and be like, what is your problem? You know, like why would you do that? But or sometimes I just will stop making referrals. Like, okay, well, this person's not reliable.
But we shouldn't have to go to that conversation of like, why'd you do that? Like, I know we do that as moms. Probably we want to lecture you, like, what's wrong with you? You
Yeah,
know,
because we're Latinas too.
Yeah.
We just want to.
we're like, ¿qué te pasa? You know, we're kind of like that, like, wake up, you know, which we were talking about earlier, like, ¿entiendes, Méndez? Te explico, Federico. You know,
Yeah.
like, kind of
I
like
forgot
that.
all about that.
Those
Oh my
things.
god.
Back in the day, you know,
Yeah.
you would, your mom would, like, for me, would say, like, hazlo bien la primera vez, like, do it right the
Do it
first
right
time.
the first time.
You shouldn't have to wait for a second, third, fourth, fifth opportunity. You don't sometimes get that.
Right.
You get the door open once, that's it. It's open. Use it. Be nice. And this is where, like, let's just say you're not in a good mood. Don't answer the call. Don't respond to that text message. Take a deep breath. You know, it's okay. We have these phones and we're kind of like, I gotta answer everything really quick. But if you're not in a good mental state, take
no,
a step back before you move forward.
for
I
sure.
made a promise to myself to not answer any email or text message for the first hour and a half when I wake up. Because it's always like I'm always either confused or saying something snappy or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I need to stop because I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I've said things that I shouldn't have in the morning.
Yeah.
Um,
You need
yeah,
that
so
moment.
that's a great point. That's a great point.
Oh my god, yeah, I would definitely. I would be so half asleep.
Yeah.
Like that's happened to me, and then I'm like, what did I just write
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this
yeah.
person? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I would definitely stay away from
You're doing
that.
the undo send like 3 hours
Yeah.
later, like undo. You didn't see that.
What if you can't edit it? It's like, oh, sometimes it
Yeah,
doesn't let you
yeah, yeah.
edit no more. It's like, oh, I messed up. Like,
And I've been that person, like, I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
you know, like, I get caliente and I'm like, damn, it wasn't me. I hadn't eat. I was hangry, you know, like,
Right.
sorry, guys.
yeah, that
You're
is
not you
true.
when you're
It's
hungry.
true. You're not you when you have a Snickers.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I
You're a
need
diva.
food. Yes, I am. I'm like, oh no, why'd I do
But
that?
I think that's typically women in general. I think we get hangry and that we get
Yeah.
upset when we don't have food in our bodies. So I think that's normal. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's about having boundaries too, because if you think about it, like, we have these phones nowadays and
Yep.
we're stuck on them all the time. And sometimes we don't really give ourselves that grace,
Yeah.
you know, to like be in the right setting. It's like people call you, they put you on the spot, and we don't realize like we don't have to answer.
No.
We don't have to give them a response right away. We could do it because they have no idea what you're doing on the other end. They
Absolutely.
have no idea what you got going on. So like creating that balance and those boundaries, but also being right-minded and being calm. Like when you came in, I had like the calming music, and
I
you
was
got,
like,
Yeah.
is that meditation music?
and I was like, yes, I have to center myself.
Right.
What did I love? She
yourself
was
in the
like,
mood.
what I love when she was like, no, but then when I'm in a mood and I need a different music, I'll put a whole different vibe. And
Yeah,
I was
I'm like Jay-Z, on to the next one, you know?
I totally was like,
Yeah,
I
you
get
know,
it.
you gotta like, you're like, I gotta handle this, gangster on this, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I actually, it's funny. I'll put gangster rap or like
Yeah.
rap when I'm going to go to a networking event or if I'm going to go speak. That's when I play that music.
Because you gotta get
Because
pumped
I gotta
up.
get pumped up.
Yeah.
Like let me show these.
You
who
know
I am.
which song I put on? Sorry, I gotta share this with you. I know, don't take my song, okay? But Iggy Azalea, I'ma change your life. I'm like, I'ma change your life. I'm like,
Is that what you play before your workshop or for your boot camp?
yeah,
That
I
is
be putting
funny.
it out,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'ma
yeah.
change people's lives.
Yeah,
I'ma
yeah,
change
yeah,
my
yeah.
own.
I love that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I
Nothing
get
wrong
real
with
goofy with
yeah.
it. People have no idea. Like I'm in the bathroom or something, or I'm on the side, and I'm like, okay, pump yourself up, Jackie. It's okay.
Yep,
It's
yep.
okay.
You have
Shake
to.
the-
Yeah.
Because you get a
have
little
to.
nervous. You people
Yeah.
think that you're not human. Like you have those
You
moments, or
have
you have
to.
those sets out. Like if I say the wrong thing, you're like, no, I got this. And like I don't know if you guys ever seen Venus Williams' interview when she was little. She had this amazing amount of you have to see this.
Okay.
She had this amazing amount of confidence. She had a reporter and she was young and they were questioning like why are you confident, why? And the dad came in. I love this scene, it's real, you got to look
I
it
gotta
up.
watch it.
And Richard, her dad, comes in, he's like, stop it, don't do that to a little girl, don't do that. Especially because you know she's also breaking out of it, her social norms, being you know African American,
Right.
being so wide net into you know tennis. Don't break her confidence, because if you think about it, how long does it take for you to build your confidence, but how quick can it be shot down?
Yep.
So you have to, like right now as adults, we have to build ourselves, we have
Oh
to
my
do
God.
that.
That's so
Mhm.
And we
true.
can't let outside because I mean I've had my moments where like I second judge myself or stuff like that, so I have to like talk to myself like I'm worth it, manifesting that I'm worth it, that I'm good, that I'm
Yep.
okay, and that I got this,
Yeah.
and I'm human. If I make a mistake, it's okay, you know, like it's all right. And that's why I like
Yeah.
to do that and lead with a lot of my conversations and presentations about that. It's all right, you made a mistake, but you're here to learn. It's
Yep.
okay, you're here to get yourself back up. You
Mhm.
stumbled, baby, you didn't
Mhm.
fall.
Right.
It's
It's a
okay.
lesson. It's a lesson,
Yeah.
not a loss.
Shake it off.
I love that. Yeah, because confidence, you're right. Anyone could just rob it. Like,
Yes.
and if you're not confident, that one sentence, that one phrase can ruin it. And speak for yourself. Like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Mhm.
Like, when people
Mhm.
try to generalize and be like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, we XYZ. I'm like, you're talking about yourself. You ain't talking about me, bro. You know, but then I love the fact, like, your circle, the birds that flock together, that saying, right? I like my circle to check me. Like,
Yeah.
look, like I pour into people and I talk, you know, I try to inspire people and motivate people all
Yeah.
the time. But the moment I say something out of pocket, like I expect people to correct me.
That's my husband.
That's what?
My husband. People like, I don't like what you said that. You know, like, I'm like,
But it's
Ooh.
great. It's needed. Like you're like, oh, do I want to accept it?
I don't like, yeah, because you know, like he's your husband. You want him to be your biggest cheerleader. But then
Right.
I actually like sometimes like he
Mhm.
tells me like you need to go take a break. You need to go get a walk. Go take a deep breather. And I before antes I would be like, no, I'm not leaving. Like terca, you know, terca, stubborn. Like I'm a bull, like a
Stubborn.
Taurus. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I see red, toro. I used to be like that. Now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a break. Now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Target. I'm gonna go get my nails done.
Yeah.
I come back and I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
You know, I shouldn't have acted like that, or like, you know, sorry, I got snapped at the kids, or I was a little overwhelmed. You know, because I'm human.
Yeah,
You know,
of
but
course.
before, no, I didn't like to accept that.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not going. It was like, what is it from South Park? You can't tell me nothing. No, do what I want. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
yeah,
Where
yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, do what I want. Like
yeah.
I would be.
Jennifer Lopez.
What?
The Jennifer Lopez impersonation. I do what I want.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Is
Oh,
it?
is
On
that
South Park.
on
That's
South
what it
Park?
is.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it? I didn't know what that was exactly, but I think it was like Kenny, and he's like, I do what I want. I don't know, whatever, you know?
Well, Kenny's the one that got murdered all the time, right? So it's the Carl. right?
I
Is it
don't know
Carl? The
whoever
bigger one.
says, yeah, but it was
The
one
one
of
that
them.
had like a lisp.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about no, mom. I'll do what I want.
Yeah, that was me. I was like, no, I'll do whatever I want. Tell me what to do.
I
You
know
know?
Cartman.
That's the one. Yes, there you go.
I
Eric
was like, what's his
Cartman.
name?
Yeah, Eric Carmen. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a TikTok.
Wow.
I don't know why I couldn't remember that, but I was like that, like stubborn and bullheaded. And I mean, sometimes I could still catch myself being that way, but I have to check myself before I wreck myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Mhm.
like I have to do that.
Yeah, which are good skills to have. I think like having that like focus, like, oh, I can't like know what is it? Like you just like are like this,
Tunnel vision.
laser tunnel vision. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
an asset as an entrepreneur too, right? But it's good to have like your husband. He's like, oh, calm down, calmate, you know.
And I do it to him too. But you know, like sometimes you like I have friends as well that do that, or like my sisters tell me, and I'm like, yeah, I stay quiet. Well, you know when you got me when I'm like,
Mhm.
because I'm a chatterbox. So when I'm quiet, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like,
yep. Yeah.
shoot, they caught me. I got caught. You know, like, damn it, I gotta reflect for a moment. You
Yeah.
know, and then I like come back and I center myself. But I think like that's one thing I always want to be is like human, and like I want people to feel that. That's the whole thing about
Yeah.
networking too, is I want people to feel that, you know, if they did make a mistake, it's okay. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't. It's not your forever. It's just that moment, and it doesn't even have to be still to right now. It was who you were. It's not who you are anymore.
Oh, that's
Right,
a good one.
right.
That's a good one.
Right?
It's who you were. You didn't know any better.
Yeah, you don't know
You
no
don't know-
better. So you're getting educated, you're getting better, you're doing better. So you get to change that leaf, you get to shed that old feather and like
Right.
grow a new one, right?
Yeah.
So I
like
think it's
that.
so important for us to do that and be humane and just be empathetic towards each other. But sometimes we don't realize that other people are feeling that because we don't share that. Also, like I mean, I don't know. I do. I'm very honest, but I don't feel like a lot of people are doing that. They're, especially with social media, Facebook, Instagram, we're showing all these high moments and these spotlights, and we
Right.
don't show the behind the scenes, the mess and the chaos and the
Mhm.
tears,
the
and
craziness.
yeah, you know, waking up with the lion's mane, and you know, I
Mhm.
didn't wake up like I woke up like this, you know, like Beyonce.
I woke
like,
up
no.
like this. Flawless.
Yeah.
I know that song. Like I do know that song.
Yeah, so we don't necessarily say those things. So I think it's
Yeah.
important to have people around you that's like, yeah, I did not wake up like this. I had
Yeah.
to work at this. I had to earn this. I had to achieve this.
Yeah. Oh, people don't see the ugly side of entrepreneurship,
Oh.
right? There's an ugly
Mhm.
side of it that people don't. You see, we put the glamorous stuff up. We'll post the achievements and the awards and the speaking, and I mean, but a lot of times it was funny. Like you're not gonna really put like the struggles up there because then people are gonna be like, "Is she legit? Is she for
Mhm.
real? Is she
Right.
authentic?"
Or you come off as nagging,
Or complaining? Yeah, yeah.
complaining. It's
Mhm.
negative. Like,
Mhm.
ugh,
You know,
you know,
this doesn't inspire me.
like, ugh, I'm gonna unfollow.
Yeah.
I
You know,
love her personality.
Yeah.
We clicked so well, like me and her. Well, when I first met you, we met the Accelerated 2 the first time.
Okay.
Like I think I've heard of you, right? Because of the investors that I surround myself
Yeah.
with. Shiznit, if Shiznit watches this,
Yeah,
shout out
Vic,
to
love
Shiznit.
Nick.
Yes.
I love him
Vic
so
is
much.
awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
he's awesome. I love him and his wife. So, but he always speaks so highly of you. He's like, you got to take our class. She's a great class. You know, he loves it. And then I'm like, okay, so I've known of your name. You know,
Yeah.
it's been in my head. And then at the Accelerators, when I met you, and then I started talking, then I heard a little tone of Hispanic in her voice, like a little Latina right there. And I was like, she is not a white woman. Like
A little.
you know, a little. But I
Little
was
bit.
like, I could hear a little flavor back there. Like I could hear the tone, you know, the sassy.
I know what it was what I said, and
What
it's
is it
so
that you
embarrassing that I said it.
You
But I
said
was
it to me.
so
I don't remember.
no, not to you. It was
Oh.
to the MC. It was so I just don't have a filter sometimes.
yeah.
I just speak out of pocket so bad. Like people don't know
It's
all
okay.
those sides of me.
I
It's so
know.
funny.
What did you
But
say?
he said, "You guys want a chair?" And then, you know, where I'm going with this, right? And then
I
he's
remember.
like, "No, you're gonna host. You need a stool." And I was like, "No." And I said, "Hold on." I said, "No, my fat ass isn't gonna sit on that stool." I said that, and he just looked at me because he didn't think. But I said it so sassy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna get
Were you on the mic or you were just?
No,
No,
we
no,
were
no.
setting
we're
up.
backstage.
Oh, you were setting up.
backstage.
Okay.
But I was so sassy with
That's
it. I don't know where that came out. I was like, like con la cara and everything. I was like, and she's like turned around and looked at me like, what?
I
happened?
I was just, mind you, I don't know you yet. I haven't
Yes,
gotten
nobody
to know
knew
you.
me at that
So
time.
when I heard, I was like, damn, like, okay, that's where we're at
And then she
now.
started laughing, and then the other one was laughing, and then they're like, "What are we laughing at?" And then you repeated it. I was like, "Damn!" In my mind, I was like, "Damn, filter, Jackie, filter, damn it!"
But I
You
think
know,
that's,
in the moment.
but that's what made me comfortable with her. That's
Right.
why I was like, oh, she legit, like she's down
Personality,
to
who she
earth.
is.
Yeah. Right. So that's was then when we talked and we said goodbye, I was like, yeah, I need to connect. We need to stay connected. I like her because she was just like, no, whatever you said.
I was so I was so like I don't know, just like the sass came out of me, you know. And I was, you know, obviously I was like supposed to be the host and etc. on our
Right.
segment.
Yeah.
So he was like, "You should sit on the stool," and I was just like, "No." Like, no, like it was just so fast that I said it. He's like, "No," because he was like, "You need the stool," and I was like, "No, my fat is not sitting on that." I was like, and he's like,
and he's a little sassy. He was a
was
little
so
sassy
sassy.
too.
He
So
was
it's
so
like
sassy.
they were all sassy.
So he kind of prompted you to be that way.
yeah, it kind of like
it.
I like it, like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
opened the
Yeah, yeah,
invitation.
Yeah.
It was an invitation to let that
To
out.
let that
Right,
out.
right.
And
Yeah.
it's a good thing I let that out there backstage before I went on stage. Because
Before we got on stage. Before we got on
I don't
stage.
know how people would have received something
Yeah.
like that, but it was I was so mortified at the same time. But then when you were like, "Oh, it's fine," I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna let go."
I was like, it's cool. Like, we're good. You know, like, I'm sitting there, like, I like this. You know?
She needed to see that. She needed to see
Yeah, that made me comfortable. You know, I was like, okay, cool. Because we were doing the whole panel thing and she was moderating
Yes.
the panel, right? So it was good because now there was a better flow
Yeah,
on stage.
I think I let go of a layer, and you got to see that a little
Yeah,
bit, like
yeah.
me being more me.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, okay." And I was asking you questions, and then I was pumping everybody up. I was like, "Come on, girl, come on,
You
no,
were,
come on,
you were,
come on, you got
were.
this. Come on, no, show me, tell me, no,
Yeah.
show me something else. Come on, got this." And I was doing that backstage
Yes,
with
you
everybody,
were, you were.
and everybody was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
apúrale, like hurry." I was like, "No, come on, give me a better answer. Come on, tell me something
She
good, good."
was,
And I
she
was
was.
doing
It was
that
good. It was
backstage
good.
Right.
with everybody, and it just came out of me. You know, that's just who I am. Like
Right,
I was
right.
pushing. I am a people pusher.
That's
So
good.
I always say that. I have a mural about it actually. One of my buildings at 48th and Paulina. If you guys ever drive by on there,
I'm gonna look for
it's
it.
right across the street from a laundromat.
Okay.
It's all about our culture, Dia los Muertos. So
Mhm.
obviously, like I have the rental business. So my office used to be right there. So you'll see like the town, and I kind of dedicated to like, you know, Dia los Muertos, the town of dead. It was kind of like a symbolic situation about me and my life and what I do. So the town was like right there painted like the town of the dead, you
Yeah.
know, and that was where my office was. And then the muerte, she's right there and she's blowing bubbles. So you see like all the, you know, the flowers at the bottom with the
Mhm.
candles. And what it was is like, it's not your time. Todavía no es tu tiempo. Like empujar mi gente. That's what my
Oh, I
mural
want to
is.
go look for it. It's
Yeah.
still out there. I'm
Yes.
Gonna go, now I'm gonna
So
go
in the
look for it.
bubbles, you'll see me in one of the bubbles, and my face is painted. My
Really?
kids,
I
my
have seen that,
sisters.
actually. I
Yeah.
have
On
seen that.
48th
And then-
and Paulina?
Yeah. And then I have alebrijes right there with, you know, their spirit guides. They're watching you, and you can see like the pyramid in the tras, you know, our my heritage. Like just the bubbles are going back away. Like it's not their time. Go ascend back.
Mm.
And the
Aw.
alebrijes are watching you. And it was just something that came into my mind. We're talking about painting the building, and I sketched it out, and it flew. It just like
It made sense.
it made
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. We had an
Aw.
artist draw it, but then I went out there and I was like, "No, I don't like that color." You know, the control freak
You
in me
Yeah.
went out there and like touched up and like made it up a little bit. And I was like, "Her nose is too pointy. That's not a Mexican nose." It was really bad, you know. And then the
Oh.
colors weren't like what I wanted, so I went out there and like touched things up. But it was all my sketch. Yeah.
That's so
Mhm.
cool. And I'm gonna go look for it. I want to
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
I love when you put your stamp in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
You put your mark, you know.
Yeah, it's just something where it's like I would like to do them more often. I have like tons of ideas and things that I would like to
Right.
do for people. I just feel like we talk yes, we talk about situations, but I think we need to be inspired, right?
Yes.
We need to push each other, help each other, especially culture wise too. We just are surrounded by so much negativity, and
Mhm.
it's nice just to be like, it's okay, let it go.
Yeah.
Like, let's push each other. You're meant for more, right? Because we get so stuck in what has happened, and I think I've seen so many people get like that, and
Yeah.
us as women too. Sorry, no offense, but like, we lose ourselves a little bit as
You
being
sure
moms
do,
and
man.
doing everything in the household and businesses, that we forget that we have our own ideas and concepts and inspirations, and let that shine.
Yeah.
Don't lose it, right?
I love that. I love that. I think people don't. I mean, a woman's role in business is powerful, and people don't recognize that enough. Like,
Yeah.
because you move a lot of pieces. You know what
Yeah.
they say? Like that's why like the queen in chess can move anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she can move in ways that a man can't move.
Right.
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 No
Hey,
offense.
that's fine. That's fine. I'll sit back and let you guys do your
No
work.
offense.
I'll sit
No
back
offense.
and watch you guys.
I'm
I'm fine with that.
just saying. So like I love. So yeah, you're right. Like if the woman's not attending to herself or taking care of herself or pouring into herself or giving herself even credit,
Yeah.
then you're gonna lose so much potential because of
Mhm.
that.
Well, it's like, I can't be good for you if I'm not pouring into me first.
Right.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, as a mom, like, if I'm just always the house and everything else, then I'm going to burn myself out, and I'm going to get so sick and
Yeah.
so uninspired and so depressed that I can't really give you, and I can't be that great mom. I can't be that great
Mhm.
woman and be that great inspiration for you.
For sure.
So I think that that's so important that we recognize that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And also to allow men too, as women, we are nurturers, to allow them the safe space as well to be
Yeah.
themselves and to express themselves. My son told me this the other day and yesterday as well. It's just something recent where he's like, men are not allowed to cry as a boy. He's 18, he just turned 18, and he's like, I can't always express myself. And I said, go ahead, tell me. He let us have it yesterday.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh.
but he was
Yeah.
telling us, like, this is what I want to connect, and he was discussing those things, and it was nice. I think he needed that, like, that let me express myself and let go. So we
That's
need to
nice.
give people that space. They could just let it out,
Yeah.
and then just, okay, you good?
Right.
Good.
You
All right,
got
let's
it?
work on it. Like,
Yeah.
let's go from here. But we have to allow that for others, friendships, men, women, our children, everybody. Because
Yeah.
we sometimes think that, we're adults, that we only have bad days.
Yeah.
But I remember being a kid and a teenager, and there's some impactful situations. I was having
And
some bad
oh my
days.
god,
Yeah.
yeah. And then if we can't as adults handle our own stuff, can you imagine a child
Yeah.
Right.
trying to handle it? It's even worse.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't
Mhm.
even understand why I feel
But
like this.
like in the Latina culture, it's like, tú no tienes un mal día. Like, you don't have a bad day. You don't even know what I go through.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
well, we do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
do have bad days.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
their own sets of emotions and things
Yeah.
of that nature too. So we have to be empathetic as a community, not just children,
Sure.
adults, men, women, everybody, and just be a little bit more gracious to everybody,
Yeah.
right?
Agree. And being empathetic. What are your thoughts since we're um
We're
going
taking
through a
over
lot
here.
No,
We're taking
listen,
over.
I'll let the queens move across the chessboard, and I'll just sit back, pay attention, and absorb.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of topics going on, but as a man, the way that I'm looking at all of this is that we do internalize a lot. So we do thank the women in our lives for that safe space that you do provide for us. I know that I carry a lot of like heaviness in business when I'm going about my day, talking to clients and whatnot, and just trying to figure out, okay, how do I approach this person? And yeah.
you need the safe space,
I
basically.
just
Yeah.
need the safe space
You need the
to
safe
kind of
space.
like
Yeah.
yeah. So because I'm just like bombarded in every single direction, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of like going home by myself, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's good to have
Those communications.
Yeah.
right the safe space with people to have those conversations.
I think the pressures, well, I would assume the
Yeah.
pressures for men are different,
Mm.
right? Than like the pressure that a woman would have, right? Especially if like you are the one that is meant to like you're on your own, you're providing, you're making a way, like no one's making a way for you, like you're that in itself is a lot of work.
Yeah.
When you're on your own, like once you're a woman and you're married and you have that, like the pressure's not as intense. You feel like, okay, I got someone that's like a backbone or someone that's supporting me or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. So I could see why, like for you, that would be Yeah, that's a lot.
But it's like you feel like you have to always have it all together,
Mhm.
and that you don't really have somebody that you can like let go and like discuss that, like those issues, or like, hey, was I wrong? Should I approach this differently? You know, what,
sure.
how can I deal with this differently?
Yeah,
So I think like having that safe space is so important.
for sure.
You know, like even with friendships and just
Oh
opening,
yeah.
inviting that into those doors, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, yeah. No, for sure. And I like what you said earlier, like who is it? Rich, my rich friend, or what is it? What
My
was
rich BFF.
my rich BFF? I
Yeah.
know some right for her to say something like every friend meets a specific need. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like I know who my wretched friends are, and I know who they're not, right? And
Yeah.
I know who are the ones that I can, because there are certain friends that I might not open up and share what I'm dealing with
Yes.
that friend, because I know that they're not gonna be able to process it the same. They might not be able to give me advice the way that I need to. Like I'm aware of where they're at in life,
Yeah.
right? So I have to kind of pick and choose, like who are the ones that can support me here, who are the ones that I can have a good time with, who are the ones that I can let my hair down and act a fool and no one's gonna judge me for it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And who are the ones that are gonna like chastise me
Yeah.
if I do, like I have to know.
Well, it's the same thing as knowing
right?
like what you said, like who can I go out to dinner, lunch, breakfast, talk business, discuss those concepts. You need a lot of different friendships. Some people are so close-minded, like everybody has to be the
I
same.
need
It's
three
like
friends.
I need different friends. Yeah.
I just need three.
I just
These
need three.
Yeah. He's like morning, breakfast, night.
yeah.
And we're like a whole new world. We go on everything, you know.
But you know what? If with this, because I'm assuming we're all extroverts here, right? You're
Yeah.
an extrovert.
I'll say introverted extrovert.
You're an
So
ambivert.
you're an-
That's what it is. I'm a little bit like that
I
too.
don't even know what that means, but yes.
You're a little bit of both. You're extroverted
yeah.
in social settings, but then you need that safe space to recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like that too.
Okay.
Because you're like that too. You told me that.
I do like to recharge, but I've trained myself to like give myself time alone.
Yeah, but that's ambivert.
is it? Well,
Yeah, because we.
Recharge,
Yeah, because you need that moment, like that safe space, that quiet space to
I
be
do
alone.
need that. Yeah, sometimes I do that. Yeah, for sure, absolutely, I agree with
Like
that.
I shut down. I'm like I'm absentee for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, I've put. There's times where like I'll put an event together and I'm so drained afterwards. Like, don't call me, don't talk to me. I don't want to know your name. Like, you know, like
I don't want to know what happened to you
D-
that night.
DND. All right, like I'll
Did you
put it
get home. I don't care.
Do not disturb.
Like go like F them kids. Like I'm just like that. That's how I am. That's where my mindset
I
is.
comida a la casa.
You know,
Like-
like
like-
we'll order food, guys. Not today.
Yeah.
But what was the point of this? Oh, because of our personalities and we like to be around people. I think for us, we can see the value of having a lot of people around us, because I think it's not healthy, in my opinion, when I see memes or stuff on social media saying like, you know, the real ones only have two friends, you know, like we're a lone wolf and all these weird ass memes I read. And I'm like, y'all lame, but that's just, you know, that's just me. Like and in my honest opinion, I think it's very unhealthy to be isolated.
Yes.
Right? We're created for community. We're created for congregating. We're created for fellowship. There's a reason why, like, back in the day when women needed to do their laundry, they would go out to the river and they'll
Yeah,
do their laundry
and
and they're
all
talking
together.
and they're all doing
Right,
it together.
right.
It was like a community thing. There's a reason why in Rome people took a poop and it was open
In the latrine.
and
Yeah.
everyone was talking while they're taking a poop.
Yeah.
Think about this.
Yes, back in the day, yeah.
But,
We
right?
need to be socialized.
The bats. They used to even bat. They had bathing
Yep,
centers
the group
before back
bats,
in the
yeah.
day. Yeah.
Wow. That's too much, but
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to like the age old adage of like it takes a village to raise a baby. We're
Yeah.
still technically growing even throughout our
Every
lives
day, yes.
as an adult, and I think the setback to only having two friends versus being an extrovert and well, not you don't even have to be an extrovert, but just going out and putting yourself out there is that you learn what qualities that you haven't developed. So
Yeah.
you go network and meet somebody, somebody you don't know, they're not your friend, you kind of hate them.
Yeah.
But you kind of like I don't know if I like this person, but you have that interaction, and then if you don't like that person, that may be something that you need to work through.
Yes.
Some kind of blockage that you're running into in your life to get over.
I
So
agree
the
with
love
that.
that.
I
the
agree
more
that.
people you meet, more people you learn from, the more you learn about yourself.
Like, why are you triggered by
Yeah,
that? Like,
exactly.
why is that bothering
Why
you?
does that trigger you?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Like, what is it? What is happening here? Like, why are you so? What's happening that you're upset?
Why are you irritating my soul?
Yeah.
And then, then that makes me, when I meet someone like that, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
say the word
hate you
hate.
already.
But
No,
when
just
I
kidding.
do meet someone and I get startled like that, I have to ask myself why. What is going on? What are they opening up in me?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, that's making me feel this way. Is it me? I have to ask
Mhm.
myself. But I'll add on to it, like, I feel like the circle that you surround yourself with are mirrors. You're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
mirroring, right?
Yeah.
They
What
say
what
your five-
superpower?
They say
you-
your 5 closest friends are a true reflection of who you are.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
They
agree.
represent who you are.
I agree. I want to continuously learn and grow and be around things, and I've had been triggered at certain things, and I'm like, why is that triggering me? What is happening here? And I've had to reflect, like, why is that person sparking that, or like, why are they not sparking that joy in me, or what is happening? And it's like, okay, well, that maybe some. And there's been times where I'm like, okay, because that used to be me. I see myself in that, or I see that old
Yeah.
version of
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That 20-year-old that was a little toro fire red, seeing red. And I'm like, okay, that's why. Like,
Yeah.
and then sometimes I'm like, well, do I help, or do I, because you're growing, you got to learn how to do it on your own too. You can't always save everybody.
No.
So you're like, oh, like, it's like that. What do
Yeah.
I do? Like, should
Yeah.
I talk? Should I deal with it? Should I walk away? Should I stay from a distance? You got to kind
Yeah.
of learn how to manage that a little bit better. Like, I feel I'm going to turn 40 this year. I feel like now I'm like, I don't care what people think
Good
of me.
for you.
I'm
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
don't care. Like, I'm too old to care. Like, if you don't like
Yeah.
me, then don't look the other way.
Close your eyes.
Volteate.
Yeah, close your eyes.
Cierra los ojos.
But it's like, that's fine. Like, there's 7 billion people, by the way. Oh, sorry. That fell. Sorry about that.
I saw you putting that up
I
earlier.
saw. I was like, I was looking at it, and I was like, oh shoot.
Did
this
you
was-
see it coming
Yes,
down
I
as
did.
it was happening?
It's been difficult. Sorry, I had this weird
Oh, you're
green
good.
panel up there,
You're
and it
good.
fell.
They're not gonna see it.
But for me, it's more like, what am I getting triggered? What do I need to learn from this? How do I stay away from it? Also, it's like, well, if you don't like me, there's 7 billion people in the planet. There's other people that are gonna like me, and
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna worry about the ones that don't. Like,
Yeah.
I've had people, because I'm on podcasts, and I had
Yeah.
braces and my teeth shifted, and people said, oh, you have crooked teeth. I'm like, well, do you want to pay for my braces? My Invisalign? Go
Right,
ahead.
That's not
Here's my
mature.
Venmo.
Why would you say?
Here's my Zelle.
That's so
People
dumb.
just like
Why?
talking
They just
trash.
Yeah. And it's like, they'll say things like that, or they'll say like, oh, you got fat or something. I'm like, yeah, but I'm still beautiful. I can lose the weight. I can't lose ugly.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right?
You can't change
I
ugly.
can't. You can't change a heart, but I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
change my body. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll say
For
things
sure.
like that, or they'll say things about my hair or something. I'm just like, are you okay? Now, before I used to fight. Now I'm like, are you all right? Do you need help?
What's going on?
Are you
Tell me.
okay? Thank you. I appreciate that. I already know. I look in the mirror. I brush my teeth every day. I see them.
I think sometimes, and this is one thing that I see comments here, and I definitely I should be sharing them. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, that's fine.
Um,
Let's hear them all.
So I see this is probably from like 30 minutes ago. So Angel said people don't always buy from you because they like your product, but they buy because they like you.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
True.
Right. And then we have Melly, she said, any good books you'd recommend for self-manifestation?
So there's quite a few. There's one that I don't have here, but
I like some of these books you got up here.
yeah. So like I'm trying to think. Like, give me a minute. I think I need a minute to think about it. But I do read a lot of women in business that is about that. Like Tina Fey,
I
Amy
just saw you
Poehler.
have Tina Fey right there.
They're also Tiffany Haddish. If
Oh,
her
yeah.
her book is The Black Unicorn. You see their struggles. It's not just real estate. A lot of people are like, oh, you have to give me only real estate books, and I don't believe that. Like, I have Rebel Wilson over there as well,
love
like
that.
Badass Habits.
Oh, that's a good
I
one.
have like a lot of different books that are just about like women women going
empowerment.
through struggles, because then it's like, yes, I'm going to read a real estate book, but I also
Yeah.
want to read something about a woman overcoming things and like how she break the mold, what helped her, how did she overcome it, because that's also inspiring too.
Yeah.
So that is something that I like as well. But there's
Yeah.
one book and it's se me fue, it left me.
Is
So
it Brene Brown or
no, I gotta remember it.
I don't
Oh,
think-
it's Everything is Figure Outable, but I can't think of the author right now.
someone Google everything is figure outable.
Everything is Figure Outable. It's one of my favorite books ever. I always talk about it. And then it's something I've always said. So when I saw the title, I was like, "Oh my god,
I
that's
love
that's my
that.
person."
That
Because I always say everything is figure outable. Don't
yeah.
say you can't unless you try. I always say it. I say it to my kids. I say it to my workers, my employees. Everybody. Don't say you can't unless you try.
Marie Forleo.
There you go. There you
okay,
go.
there
And
you
it
go.
was
Marie
Marie,
Forleo.
but I was about to say Marie Kondo because I like to
You like
organize.
Marie
I like to
Kondo?
organize my life.
I gave up on that. Like I
No.
remember we used to do it in book clubs. Like, oh, Maria, that's Maria Kondo. It. I don't
Yeah.
know. So maybe Angel remembers because she was in the book club. And like my little webby, you know how they look like little eggs when you
Yeah.
like fold it. They look like
Yeah.
little eggs in the little drawers.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't last that long. Like it lasts me like
What are those socks?
like they had a way of folding,
Folding, yeah.
clothes.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
everything can fit like really nice. I
Mhm,
do it. I don't do it that bad, but I have a type A personality. If you opened up those cabinets right there, like everything has a place in a home now because I am really busy. I'm doing so much. And in order for me to thrive, I need everything to be organized.
Right.
Yeah.
makes
You need to
sense.
know where things are
That
at.
makes sense.
But the everything is figure outable. What I liked about it is that like growing up, my mom would be like, figure it out. Go,
Which is
don't. She
true.
would tell me, don't make me go over there. And if I had to find out, I'm gonna whoop you, and I'll be like, no,
get my
mommy,
ass
no,
kicked.
give me 5 minutes.
Give me 5
know.
minutes.
So it is figure outable, but sometimes we get so quick to go look for help or do it that we don't realize we also have the tools inside of us.
Yeah.
So her book is all about like her mom and how it helped her, but also her and how she just figured things out because she pushed herself.
Yeah.
So that's what, like, for me, I'm like a go-getter. I figure things out, like I just gonna keep going. I'm not gonna let one setback
Mhm.
push me and hold me back because I'm letting that control me. That's a great
good.
book. You got to read that one.
That's a
though.
good book. So hopefully Melly's still watching. Angel wrote, I agree with that. I'm always me. It's too much to work to be fake. It is too much
too
work
much.
to be fake.
Yes.
Ugh. Different
Well, how do you
people
keep
for-
up with it, right? All the lies or the
Mhm.
things that you say. Like, what did I say that
I
time?
can't do that. Like that's why I always gotta be honest.
But
'cause then
people, I
can't
think in your
remember a lie.
20s, you're
Right.
more like, yeah, you're like that because you want to be likable.
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I like me.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. She's put the triggers are an opportunity for growth.
They are.
I like you just for saying that. LOL. And I had a coach who would say, "Some will, some won't." Next, amen.
Yes.
That's so true, right? Yeah. You know what? I could see, like, especially with your personality, people being so intimidated.
Oh, yeah.
But I love it. Love,
Thank you.
love,
I like
love,
that.
love. But I think that's where the confidence in yourself needs to be, because some people might take that as a threat. They might be threatened by your
Mhm.
power,
Yeah.
right? They're like, "Oh, she's powerful. She's confident. She don't give a crap."
I don't.
I could say crap. It's my show. I'm like, it's my show. I'm like, wait, hold on. Can I say that? But like because of that, I think especially maybe women or even men. There's some men
Well-
with some fragile egos out here,
Well,
man.
I like to say it's like, I'm not intimidating. You're intimidated.
Yes, I like that. You
I'm
said-
not intimidating because
Right.
if you really got to know me, you see that I'm like really
You're
laid
fun,
back.
You're chill.
Yeah, I'm really laid back and chill, but
Right.
you didn't give me a chance. You created a narrative about me without getting to know me.
Mhm.
Yep,
That's the difference.
that
And
is
this
so
goes
good.
back to what are they going through and what kind
Yes.
of blockage do they
Yeah.
have within
And
themselves?
it's not me.
Yeah, and it's not
It's
you.
not you. It's
not
not you.
me.
And it's not you. And then you in the industry that you're in, right? You're in a very male dominant
Mhm.
industry.
Yes.
That we're in as well,
Mhm.
right? But like I can only imagine, like I was saying, there are men out there and women, but men too, that have very fragile egos.
Oh,
And when
yes.
they see a powerful woman, it's kind of like, how can I compete? How can I cut her down? How can I, like uh what's the right word for this? Just throw her off her game. You know,
Well, if
it's
you're a
gonna.
balloon, I'm gonna let you go.
I like that. So they're all balloons.
They're all balloons. And it's the ones that I want to keep that is going to like keep lifting me up. That's how I
Right.
look at it. Like the people that are in my life, they're the balloons that are lifting me up. So if you're a balloon, you're weighing me down. I got to let you go.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
See people as balloons.
Yes.
There's a cartoon that has a balloon that walks around. I don't know. I'm thinking, like, what cartoon is
Yeah, I
that?
don't know,
I don't know.
but I look at it
Not
like
South Park.
that.
It's called Gumball something. I'm just thinking what my kids are.
The
Yeah.
Misadventures of Gumball.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
there like a balloon in there? Sorry, I just thought
yeah.
of like a
I
know, I do
character.
those things too,
yeah,
though.
Yeah.
But I just look at it like that. Like if you're just weighing me down, like no, like there's a good weight to have. Like you want to have that, right? You want
Yeah,
people
yeah,
to hold you down and like center you,
Security.
but you don't want it to be where they're dragging you down.
Oh my God,
right?
yeah, they
Like
gotta
that's
add to
just
your
not
life.
fun. You just
No.
feel so. Like so like I don't know, claustrophobic in a
Yeah.
sense, like they're not letting me breathe, so
Yeah.
no.
Oh my God, yeah. Once you start cutting those relationships off that are like holding you back or holding you down or making you feel bad or they're just a drain.
Yeah.
Like they might not even naturally, they might just be great people, but like every time you're around them, their energy just sucks the life out of you. It's like,
Yeah.
I ain't dealing with this.
Yeah.
And then you feel like so much lighter afterwards.
Well, it's the thing that they say, like people are in your life for a reason, a
season.
season. Yeah. So it's just like, what's the reason or what's the season of their life? And sometimes you let go of people and you reconnect because you got on the same path. And sometimes you just can't reconnect because there's damage has already been done.
Yeah, that's
You
really
know,
true.
so you can't always. It's like I put on the song "Too Late to Apologize." It's too late. You know,
I don't know. I don't know that song.
I have songs
It's
for
Justin Timberlake.
everything.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That's
It's not just
Cry Me a River.
no, that's Cry Me a River. Yeah, I know songs.
Is it a 90s song?
I think
It
it's a
sounds- the
early
way
two
you
like
said it.
it's like an early 2000
I'm
songs.
trying to think of it.
Look at
Artist.
listen. Let
Yeah,
me tell
yeah,
you,
I know what
I
you're talking
have
about, though.
music playlists for everything. You're asking me.
Yeah.
I put on music all the time. Like I'm like, you know what? It's raining. Let me put the rain playlist on. And you know, I like the rain because I'm a roofer. So I'm like, yeah, give me them clothes. You know, let them roofs leak. I'll fix it.
I'll change your life.
Yeah, I'm gonna change your life. I'm gonna change your roof. I'm gonna change your.
But that's great. Like you would see something as a business of roofing. You see it. You see it as a service, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's not just like I'm helping, I'm providing, I'm helping a family, I'm solving a problem,
Yeah.
right? And there was something in the bio that you said like you see this as a business, like even investing, being a
Oh, yes.
landlord, having rentals. A lot of investors, and we talked about this when we went to go
Yeah.
eat. There's a lot of investors that don't see investing as a business, and it's like you're an entrepreneur, dude.
Yes.
Like you have a product, there's a transaction that's taking
Yep.
place. Like you're an entrepreneur, you're a business person, treat it as a business.
Yes.
And people don't do that.
Well, that's the first step in my class that I now do, where I tell people, like, we're going to talk about your time management. We're going to talk about structuring, like, what are your hours of operation? How are you going to do that? Like, that's your first step because you got to really think about it. Because some people are buying real estate and they're doing it as a, like, you know, a secondary thing, and they have their 9 to 5s, but they're not communicating with their tenants the ways of communication, what times of availability. So I see people that they're taking calls at different times because, you know, networking events are all different hours.
For sure.
I've seen people on the weekends where they're like nonstop on the phone, and it's like the most random question. It's like, hey, what's my rent balance? You're at a networking event. Be present. Like, set those hours of operation,
Business
set those
hours.
business
Right.
hours when I'll respond to you. Like, just because we're not stop and drone mentality, it's not like a danger, right? It's not a life threat. So I think we just don't realize that. And I think like you have to start think of it as a business. You invested, you have this investment, you're putting this in, you're getting money back. It's a business.
It's a business.
Right.
So handle it, whether you have 1, 2, 3, and if you want to continue growing, you need to have that mentality. And
Right.
plus in Chicago and Crook County, you know, there's so many rules and regulations and we need to be aware. So many people are doing it incorrectly and then they're learning this afterwards, which is fine, okay, because we all do at one point, but like why not save yourself time, money, frustrations by coming to my class where I'm going to teach you everything because I've also been through things, but I'm going to teach you how to handle it well.
I like
And
that.
also it's about having that balance. Like you have, like I think I was saying when we were, you know, setting up, I had a person come up to me and say, I handed a 5-day notice after Christmas. And I was like, what's the balance? And they're like, $50. And I was like, really? The day after Christmas? Like, that was kind of mean.
Just gift it to them, bro. It's a
Yeah,
gift card.
yeah.
Chris, it's a Christmas gift.
But also, it's like, come on, like, have that conversation. Like, hey, I know that you're
Right,
running
right.
late, or, want to discuss this with you. What's going on? It's the day after Christmas.
It was after Christmas. Like, no shit. Sorry again. I'm like,
For real.
like, we know why, but I get
Yeah,
it. I get
But
it.
it was a thing that they said that they were like, oh, well, she got Uber Eats. And I was like, yeah, because they house hacked.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to mind your. And back in the day, I got taught. I don't know if you guys did, but
Mhm.
like, mind your business,
Mind
stay
your
in your
business,
lane, stay in your lane. They would teach us that. So it's like, you have to learn how to mind your business, stay in your lane. You're renting them apartment, not their life.
Right, right.
So you got to learn, like, rent them the apartment, have the principles, have them treat it like a home,
Mhm.
have them understand how to upkeep it,
Yeah.
but don't rent them their life. Don't be watching them keeping, like, what I'm talking about.
I
Back
know
in the day,
exactly
the
what you're
old
talking about.
ladies, you could see who was the nosy one because their blinds were all cut up.
Mhm.
Like, you could see them like dangling. You're like, man, that lady's
Yeah.
nosy.
Yeah.
Sometimes those nosy neighbors are awesome though.
Yeah, they be
Because
telling you
they be telling you
everything.
everything, like,
Yes.
they'll get your man caught up and all types of stuff. Like, I see a girl come into your house every day this
Yeah.
time.
Mm.
No,
Well,
just
no, my
joking.
tenants, like the nosy ones, they'll be telling me all the drama, the 411. It's funny sometimes, like the stuff. I be laughing. I was like, I feel like need to have a telenovela. I always say, las dramas de la oficina.
Oh, so they tell you everything that's going on. That's so
It's
funny.
so funny. Yeah.
That is good. I have a comment here
Yeah.
from Lilia Herrera. She said, I love Jackie. She has a lot of experience and knowledge.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I mean, going back to your point, I got to add, like, I think not only like in mind your business, I think as entrepreneurs, when we work with clients, and if you have your clients as friends on Facebook, don't be all up in their business and
Mm-mm.
judging them for the things that they be doing.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes people do that even as entrepreneurs. Like,
Yes.
Right, right.
you're like, don't you owe me a balance? But you see them doing something like that they
Yes.
should. You're like,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
you
yeah.
owe me some money? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you shouldn't be doing that. That's none of your business what
None of your
they're doing.
business,
You
yeah.
know,
But that's the boundaries that you have to
That's
set
the
up, the
set-
lines of
Right.
limitation of like,
Absolutely.
hey, you're gonna get a late charge. This is what you gotta teach people the process.
absolutely.
And if they're not respecting it, that's where you say, I'm gonna enforce it. Like, even with me with
Yeah.
roofing, it's like they're gonna get a late fee, and within this time, if not, I'm gonna put a lien on your property. I'm gonna communicate. I'm not gonna be like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Did you go out?
Where'd you spend your money at?
You owe me money.
Yeah, no, that's too much. You don't want to be in people's business like that. Like,
No, you have to
there's
have that like
limits.
separation,
Of
you know.
course.
But educating your tenant is also like, I was actually telling him this is like, you want the tenant to be in there like for years, right? You have them at
Wanna keep
least
'em,
one
yeah.
year, but you want to like have them at least 3 to 5 years or more. You can't expect them to take care of your property if you don't sit down and have that full conversation with them about the rules, the regulations.
Yeah.
Teach them. You can't expect. I mean, TikTok nowadays has taught us so many things about ourselves, right?
Mhm.
About how to change a tire and things about our car, and like, I didn't know that
won't do
that thing did that, and
I still won't do that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that are like, well, I didn't know that worked that
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
you know.
Oh my god, yeah, like did you know that if you put the salt and pepper together back to back?
Yes,
like,
I
it
didn't know
actually,
that.
like,
I didn't know
saw
that.
a video and I was
What
like,
is that?
so you,
So you get
Okay,
the
never mind.
so the salt shaker and the you put them upside down and you just kind of rub them against each other
Uh-huh.
and it like comes out naturally.
Yeah,
you don't
like,
have to shake
you don't have to
that.
shake.
You don't have to okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
it has like a kind of like a braille like
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
bottom of
Yeah.
it, so you can just rub it together. But like all
I
these
learned that
little
on
shortcuts.
TikTok. Like,
Mhm,
oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but like tenants all don't know how to like maintain an apartment. They don't understand why rent increases are up. So if you tell them like, if you're breaking things, I have to hold you accountable.
for sure.
And if you
Mhm.
tell them like, hey, if you let the toilet running or you don't tell me about this, it's going to make all my bills go up, which also is going to affect you on the rent. It's that communication, that education. It's educating your client. I do the same thing with roofing. I want to
Yeah.
educate the client. I don't want them just to choose me just to choose me. I want them to know that I'm problem solving. I'm doing everything legit.
Yeah,
I have
for sure.
customers tell me, well, you're higher. And I'm like, well, send me the other estimates so I can compare. And when I compare, the other people, your other competitor, they're cheaper because they're not using A quality or they're not doing XYZ. And I'm like, that's why you have pictures. Like, you'll see my estimate, it's like 30 something pages because I give them a picture report, I give them
Right, right.
all the report. And then the other person is like 2 pages. You're like, really, homie? You're not comparing it.
Right,
like, they're
right.
not apples to apples. It's
Right.
oranges to apples, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's so much different. So you
Yeah.
need to know, like, you need to teach people. You can't just assume.
You know what? And that's probably like a good advice for in anything. You
Yeah.
can't just assume people
Mm-mm.
know. You have to
Yeah.
teach them for sure in anything. But that's a good point in the landlording and your tenants and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I go to the Maker's Mark, which is on the north side, and they have them all different. I don't know if you've heard of them, but it's like these pop-up events that they're like local, like small retailers. They have like, mom and pops and stuff like that, and they have like makeup and they have everything, like dishwash tabs. It's a really nice experience to go. You go see
Yeah.
like all these like local small businesses, and I'm supporting them.
Yeah.
But what I like about them is that they go this extra step. They give you like care instructions. Like I've bought beeswax things for your food, and the one
Yeah.
that I bought didn't have instructions how to take care of it.
Yeah.
So this one, like, she told me like how to wash it, how to do this. So now I get to upkeep it and actually save me
Take
time,
care of
money,
it.
and frustration. I get to save it for a long period of time.
That's
And
good.
when people don't, you're just assuming that people know. You can't. You got to take that
Mhm.
assumption off.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Let me share this comment here. Lilia just wrote something. She said, I'm so grateful she has classes to learn landlording. I sent my daughter to learn from her class, and I will be attending her next meeting.
Yes, I remember I had her daughter come in, and I hope that she learned a lot, and I
Yeah.
want to continue helping people. I'm building it to be it's a 1-day class right now. So I do them like once every 2 months because it's long. It's a whole
Mhm.
day. It's just a boot camp. But I also am creating it so I can have like a 2-day course and a 3-day course, and I'm gonna have an extensions so that I can dive deep into them, like pre-screening and underwriting, which I'm having an event this Wednesday about.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to be pre-screening and underwriting application so that people can understand the process so they can avoid choosing the wrong tenant.
Right.
Not just for, this is to really look at the application to make sure that these people can have proper funding, that you're choosing the right person. It's not a personal, it's business, right? It's selection.
right.
It's the same thing as interviewing, right? When you're interviewing for a position,
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you're hiring the right
Yeah.
person that's going to handle that
Mhm.
job.
For sure.
So you got to look at it like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same way. Like, how much did you spend buying a property? How much process did you go through?
For
If
sure.
you're just like 1, 2, 3 and just handing it to them, why did you just went through so much?
Mhm.
You paid so much. You went through all these things to get it. Like, what's the process? You guys are buying real estate all the time too. So you got to understand, like, there's so many layers beyond it.
Yeah.
And if you're not making the tenants have limitations, requirements, you're not posting it online properly, professionally,
Yeah.
you're not saying the right things, you get a lot of heap of trouble. But not just bad because you're doing the wrong things, but also because you're choosing the wrong person that cannot financially
Right.
afford your unit.
Yeah.
And then they're going to damage it. You're not talking, you're not creating that line. So it's me going into it like as a meetup, but I also have the classes to go through it, and I'm creating so many different variations of it, so that this way I can really help people, because there
Yeah.
is other things that they're out there. There are other certifications that you get, but nobody teaches you how to do it.
Yep.
It's more like, these are the laws. That's it. This is a
And you're
notice.
you're
That's it.
very hands-on, very
Yes, I'm
hands-on.
very in depth.
And I like that it's kind of niched because since there's no one else really doing this, you kind of have the whole market.
Mhm.
Yeah, I hope that I can help as many people as I can so that, prevent having these issues. And, you think about it, these laws in Chicago and Cook County,
Mhm.
they're very anti landlord, very tenant friendly. But
Yeah.
that's because we're so uneducated. So if I get to help out a community and all these different people, we change the way that we're being viewed.
For sure.
So now we change a different opportunity. Now we have a group and a whole community of people that are educated, right? That's what we
Yeah.
need.
I have a
Yeah.
question for you. How since you have a lot of rentals as well, right?
Mhm.
And I'm new in the rental game. So what are your thoughts on ITIN or undocumented?
There's a way to, I mean,
Because
legally.
you're in Pilsen. I
Yeah.
mean, you're Latina.
Yeah.
So how you handle that?
So legally, you can't deny them,
Of
right?
course.
That's part of
Right.
it. They're a protected class. But there's a way to check the ITIN number as well. I can't think of it at the top of my head, just because we use so many different softwares, etc. You just have to verify it. And I mean, yes, there's a lot of falsified documentation, stuff of that nature, but that's where you have to have it on your application, like the verification of employment. You have to have them sign that so that this way
Yeah.
you have that way to, verify that. The ITIN's not a bad thing.
No, no, for sure.
you can even buy a house
With
and
the
get a
iTin.
loan with an
For
iTin.
sure. For
But
sure.
it's not the same software. There's a lot of softwares that are just social security, most of the name big ones. But there is softwares, and I can't think of it at the top of
Sure.
my head just because everything has their own website. But you can verify to see if it's legit, and that's what we do.
Ah, I see. I see. Just curious. Just that's a
Yeah.
curiosity question.
Yeah.
Um, we have another comment here. She is the only person I've met that teaches this material. And then I have Los. I want to go to love this.
I hope to see you there. Want to help as many people. I think it's really important when you help others. They
Yes.
help others. It changes the tonality of what they do with their tenants. Change
Agreed.
that tenants then teach their kids. Think of the trickle effect that it
That's a
happens,
great
right?
point.
Yeah.
So then they start teaching their kids. It changes the way you got to look at it. It starts. There's a root.
Yeah.
Where's the root? Then the tree, the
Mhm.
branches, the trunk. Everything forms, and it just keeps going.
For sure.
So I want
agree.
to help people build
Yeah.
better roots and better trees moving forward.
And Jennifer, you're sharing the
Yeah, I shared the
graphic,
graphic.
right? Okay.
Yeah, I did. And then it says, Lo said undocumented are the best tenants.
I have some really great tenants. I mean, my grandma came here undocumented
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
we
of that
all- yeah,
nature.
we
So
all-
did my
Mhm.
husband's mom and my husband as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're hardworking people. I think that there's just like a lot of stigmas about that.
They demonize
And I mean, there's
undocumented
good and
people.
bad in everything, right?
For sure. Of
So
course, yep.
there's always going to be pros and cons. I mean, people can have a great credit score and still manage their money horribly or
Yeah.
overspend, or you get people that have average credit scores but they're the best tenants. There's no right like perfect application. Really, believe me, I've
Right,
looked at
right.
so many in the last almost 20 years, and sometimes I'm like baffled, like
Mhm.
wow.
Or they could have make enough money, but like you said, not manage their money well, right? Or
Yes.
still
Right.
have bad credit scores.
So you have to ask like all those things. So what I ask is for like all proofs of income. You got to allow them to bring everything in, and then you ask all their expenses, and you take out like what their average utilities, what you think that would be, their rent, so you can really get down to the root of how much they have left over. Because a
Right.
lot of people they
That's a
want.
great point.
Yeah, it's the
Mhm.
same thing as underwriting. They have to do that. They have to double check all your expenses, and they
yeah.
have to check to see
Mhm.
that can you afford this. If even if you're renting it, even if it's an investment property,
Yeah.
if something was not to happen, how can you handle this mortgage, right?
Right.
So you got to look at it the same thing as tenants.
Yeah.
But if you're not asking all those questions, you don't have it on your application, you're not listing it online, that's where you get into these issues.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. I'm gonna share that graphic again. You can go on Eventbrite to register for the event that's coming up on Wednesday. So right there we have a Chicago real estate meetup, mastering tenant screening and underwriting for success.
And
So-
then also on the webpage, Southwest Housing Providers Group, which is SWHPG.com. You can also register for that, or you have the information there. It's a free event. Just come by and swing by to it. We can register you in
Yes.
person as well.
there you go. So you guys have that information. The event's on when's the next boot camp?
The next boot camp is March 14th.
March 14th. So you guys know. And then if you guys need any roofing services, of course, you can go to roofingbyhernandez.com.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So you guys have that information there. And then of course you guys can find her on social media. I tagged her. I tagged
Thank you.
on,
Yeah.
So you guys can tag, comment, whatever you guys want to do. Make sure you guys write. Sebastian, what you got going on? Anything you want to promote? Nothing.
Oh,
I was like
I
nothing. I was like,
didn't
okay.
have any more questions, but we
Oh.
do have an event actually coming up in April.
Oh,
Oh,
geez.
nice.
Stay tuned for more details. The networking
you
event.
tell it. You
It's
share.
a networking event. Should I say location?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna have it at Chicago Theater Works in East Lakeview.
Okay.
It's going to be open networking style. We're also looking for sponsors. So if anybody wants to host a table there, definitely let us know. And at the end of it, we're gonna do a nice karaoke session.
Oh, nice.
So-
Did you inspire that one? I know you were talking about that.
was me.
That was
Oh,
him.
that was you.
So here's how the conversation went.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we should do a karaoke business networking event, and I was like,
I really wanted to do karaoke.
He really
That's why.
wanted
It
to
was
do
on my mind.
karaoke, and I
Ugh.
was like, and this is just that the people are getting the insider, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, people really like this. Like, I really sat
It's
back,
funny.
you know.
It's breaking the
I mean,
ice.
I
Right,
mean,
right.
I like karaoke, but I don't know if I want to do it in a public setting with
Right,
a lot of
right.
people I don't know, right? I might act a fool. But but I was like, well, let me see how people will perceive it or take it when I post it on social media. So that's why I posted that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, comment, comment,
There's a
comment,
big
comment,
response.
comment,
There's a
comment. I was
big
like, oh,
response.
there's a lot of people that like this. So I was like, darn it. I was like, I guess we have to do it.
That's nice
But
though.
but you don't have to worry for the guests that are coming. You don't have to worry for the first 2.5 hours.
You're gonna be
It's gonna
doing
be,
it.
it's gonna be
I'll
all
be
me,
singing him the whole
all
time.
me, all journey. Don't stop believing.
Oh,
For
don't
two and a
stop
half
bel-
hours. That's me. And then you'll feel
I
comfortable.
actually love that song. That is
But
funny.
for the first 2.5 hours, it's just a traditional networking event, open networking. So come, bring your cards, be ready to talk and mingle and all
That's
that.
nice.
And towards the end of the event, we're gonna do an hour and a half of just open,
Karaoke.
not open bar, but we have a bar at the space as well. So feel free to get a drink, and then we'll be doing karaoke as well. So,
I want to see this. This
Yeah.
thing sounds
Just-
like fun.
It's
It
gonna
sounds
be
like
fun. It's
fun.
gonna be
Yeah.
fun. Not
It's
everyone has.
goofy.
Not everyone has to karaoke.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Whoever wants to karaoke can. That's
I
how
will
I
sing
see it.
like 5 songs. I'm not
I'm
gonna
sure
lie.
you.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw this event just so I can do
This
karaoke.
guy.
Nobody has to go. I'll be the first one.
Be like, this is just for me, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it out of my system.
I've done a lot of networking events where it's just open
Plain
networking,
networking.
and it's kind of it's cool and it's nice. But I just wanted to shake something up and
Yeah,
try
it's
something-
it's,
try
it's
something new.
different. I don't
Yeah,
think I've
yeah.
heard of
Me
karaoke
either.
Yeah, no.
networking
Me either.
events, so
Yeah,
so
so-
it'll be exciting.
Yeah,
It'll
and
be fun.
I feel like for the people that stick around for it, for the karaoke part, you network with the people, you meet them, understand their business, get to know them, and then you get to see another side of that person. Hopefully not too far, but you get to see another side of that person that you're meeting, so you can build that connection. It
Yeah.
goes back to that idea of like building that connection deep instead
Yeah.
of wide.
It does, because when you do activities like that with someone, you get to know them better. You get to know them on a personal level. That's why
Yeah.
you do the,
Yeah.
what is that? Those puzzle rooms, or what do they call them?
Oh,
the escape rooms,
rooms. Yeah.
right? Well, that's why companies do stuff like that.
See who panics, who
Yeah.
doesn't,
Yeah.
who's a problem solver.
Yeah.
It's like keeping it together, the screamer.
Yeah, but then you do something. You do the screamer. You do something fun with someone. It shows you more about them.
Yeah,
for sure, right?
definitely.
You get more
Right.
comfortable with that person.
So
So
that's coming up April 3rd.
yes,
April
April
3rd.
3rd.
We'll have more details as they come out.
Yeah.
AKA I gotta create the flyer. So
Yeah.
but so I want to make sure, with all of that being said, we do have so don't forget, I'm going to show again the graphic. I also got to promote my event because I just
course.
should be doing that, right? I tend to forget. I do have a workshop for women on Saturday at the Eco Shop, finding your purpose through self-love. So we'll
I
be
love that.
doing a
Nice.
whole
Very
workshop
nice.
revolved around that. I just started my women workshops again this year. I haven't done that in a long time, but now I'm doing it again. I used to do them in 2018, and now I'm bringing them back. And then, of course, I am recruiting. I'm recruiting, not for a job, I'm recruiting for my program. So
no.
I do have a 12-week coaching program that I put together. It's my signature program. So basically, it's an accountability program, and I actually developed curriculum for women to help them time management, goal setting, boundaries, conflict resolution, forgiveness, very, very personal developing, right?
I like
Right.
that.
It's all about personal development and growth and accountability. And so I have a lot of women that are like, well, Jennifer, I'm real busy. I got a lot of things on my plate. I'm like, well, that's exactly why this program's for you, because you might not have boundaries. You might put too many things on your plate. You might
Yeah.
not know how to say no. And then, of course, the accountability will help you stay on track with your goals. So I
like
do that
that.
for 3 months. So I'm looking for ladies. I launch it when I have 5 women in the program signed up. So making sure I share that with everyone watching. And yeah, that is it, you guys. Jackie, this was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. I love
I
it.
love Jackie's personality. So I was just like, we'll see how this goes today.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
no,
having me. I
thank
appreciate it. It doesn't feel like, it just feels like we're just having a chit chat,
Exactly.
conversating. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
just flows.
It
So
flowed
funny.
nice. It was great. An hour and a half, right, of talking and having
Yeah.
a good time.
We could probably be here forever.
We could probably be here too. Yeah, my coffee's done though. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, and take advantage. And thank you, Sebas, for
Yeah,
being here
yeah.
and
Thank you
being
both.
live with us. So being a good co-host and support. Thank you. All right.
Thank
you
you,
so much,
everybody.
guys. God bless.